A little up and down last night with our win. What's going on, everybody? And welcome back to another episode of Sharks Latest. I'm your host, Jimmy, here to bring you everything regarding your favorite hockey team. If you don't want to miss anything, Team Teal, y'all, make sure you hit that subscribe button below and join the family. Don't forget the notification bell as well. Last night was a good one, y'all, and a bad one at the same time. Game 70 at the Nashville Predators. Before I get into that, y'all, I do want to say a humongous thank you to the Sharks fans, to the new Sharks Latest family that we are growing week by week. We have officially hit 50 subscribers on our YouTube channel. So thank you so much for being a part of the Sharks Latest family. We've also hit 100 Instagram followers on my Instagram page. So make sure you hit that subscribe button like I mentioned in the beginning of the video. And if you don't follow me already, I'm at Sharks Latest Host on Instagram. Would like to get my subs on YouTube to match my followers on my Instagram page. I'm on a journey for 500 subscribers, y'all. Once I get the 500 subscribers, I promise you all, I'll do my very next episode wearing a Sharks costume, like Left Shark, doing my little dancing stuff. So if you want to see me look like a fool up here in my dancing Left Shark outfit, make sure all your friends are subscribing to Sharks Latest, y'all. So tough night last night, depending how you look at it, who you talk to. We're going to keep everything glass half full here, y'all. The Sharks have officially broken a horrendous losing streak, the worst losing streak for any team against one team in the NHL, and that was San Jose, who had lost their last 15 games to the Nashville Predators and had not won since pre-COVID, y'all, against the Preds. Now, this was a great game in the aspect of this, in the positive mindset. Nashville was not a team that was guaranteed a playoff spot, right? You saw last night, there were a lot of bodies across the NHL that just were not playing for the sake of their team already locking in a spot in the playoffs. And they just don't have a need to put those players on the ice and potentially get them hurt. So this wasn't one of those situations. Nashville was just like the Sharks. Their backs were up against the wall. They needed a win. They needed points if they wanted to secure themselves any possibility of still making it into the playoffs. And the Sharks came in and played spoiler, y'all. So that's the pro there. The Sharks found a way to win against a team that had always had their number, against a team that was also looking to lock themselves into a playoff spot. And San Jose came away as the winner. So we are not walking away today with our tail tucked between our legs. We are not walking away from this game with nothing but our head held high, y'all. And so big play last night was obviously Luca Cagnoni. We all wanted to see how he was going to do. Big spotlight was on him. And he played pretty darn well, y'all. Of course, he looked like, someone that was still getting their footing in the NHL out there. But nonetheless, he looked like he fit in. The game, this is what I like to say when it comes to players coming in. Does the game look too big to them? I don't think the game looked too big to Luka last night, y'all. And you saw that evident not just with some good defensive plays, being in the right positions in the defensive zone, but also you saw that passing ability that we had talked about come to light. He had some pretty good passes, but what I was not prepared for is his aggressiveness and his assertiveness to get to the goal, get in front of the net, and try to make some points and some offensive firepower. He actually had two very good shots on goal. Either of them could have gone in. So I'm very interested to see more from Luka, but he looked good out there. He didn't look like he was undersized. He was able to skate around. He skates very well. That's something that we're going to point out about Luka, is he is a good skater. Now, with his plus and minus, you saw him, he had about 17 minutes on the ice. His plus and minus was +1. Okay? So compare that to Sam Dickinson. Now, let me just tell you guys right off the bat, plus and minuses, those are kind of case by case scenarios. It's not something you're ever going to completely just run with 100% for what you see on paper. But it's a good statistic to still pay attention to. So let's compare Luka with Sam Dickinson, right? Obviously, we're going to continue to make that comparison because they are both young defenders who are trying to catch wind and make their way on Team Teal. Sam Dickinson literally had the same amount of shifts last night, the same amount of ice time last night, but he was a -1 versus a +1 for Luka, right? So Sam Dickinson, he can bring a little bit of some offensive support, but it does look like Luka just has that ability, has that knack to be a little bit more of an offensive scorer and passer as well, goal setter upper if you want to call that. But nonetheless, Luka did look good out there. He got the teeth necklace. He got the disco ball helmet last night. So that looked good, to see him play well and the Sharks secure a win at the same time. Igor Chernyshov had his 8th goal of the season. Another goal. That's back-to-back games. Last game, he had 2 goals. So you like to see Igor, another young player, continuing to do good towards the end of the season. He now has 17 points in 26 games. That's pretty dang good, y'all. And 3 goals in his last 2. So shout out to Igor. Keep doing your thing, bro. Doesn't seem to matter where the Sharks put him. On the first line, the third line. He's going to try to make the most of his opportunities, so you better believe he is going to be someone that is going to be included in our future. Macklin Celebrini, he's continuing to do his thing, y'all. He had 2 goals last night. He now has 44 goals on the season, 112 points. Y'all, he's only 2 points away from tying the San Jose Sharks season record for points, set by Jumbo Joe back in the day at 114. Now, I keep preaching the same thing, like my girlfriend was watching the game with me last night, and, she knows a little bit more about San Jose now that I'm more involved with it doing the show, but even she was just like, whoa, this guy's 19, he's a kid, and he's doing this, and, they're comparing versus all these other players, and I had to keep telling her, like, look at the age of all the players they're trying to compare him with. They're all in their prime. Jumbo Joe was doing this 114 points in his prime. That wasn't early in his career. So it's this, gosh, y'all, the future is teal, right? We keep saying that. I'll touch more about that in a little bit, but Celebrini's leading the way. And I am just so excited to see what he can unlock for himself. Because he's already sharing statistics with some of the greatest names that we've ever seen play NHL hockey. And so I am just so excited to see what this individual can do as he progresses. And who knows, y'all, there's still 2 games left. 2 points is all he needs to tie the record. 3 points is all he needs to break the record at 19 years old, y'all. So let's keep on going. Let's keep seeing the young players rocking. William Eklund, he had himself an assist, got himself a point. He now has 50 points on this season. Back-to-back 50-point seasons for William Eklund. We'd like to see a little bit more of those points come via the goals versus the assists. But nonetheless, he's out here helping, and he has been playing better as of late. We did see Alex Nedeljkovic in the goal last night, and he had a fantastic game, which is usually what we see from Ned out there, right? He usually has somewhere around a 90% save percentage. Last night it was a 9-2-6, only let 2 goals allowed, 25 saves. So it was an all-around good game from the San Jose Sharks. But the negative is, even if the Sharks did win, so did the LA Kings, y'all. So the downside is the Sharks have officially been eliminated from the playoffs. But we're not holding our heads low. We are keeping our heads high, y'all. This is something that is a good problem to have. There are some Sharks fans that, I'm sure you guys have seen it, looking at forums and comments and whatnot, you're always going to find a divide. There are some Sharks fans that are completely disappointed with this team because we didn't make playoffs. That's never going to be the case here on Sharks Latest, y'all, especially not this season. This is a young team that scratched and clawed and found a way to stay resilient and stay motivated toward the end of the season, even when they had gone on a pretty big losing streak. And they were really, really starting to free fall in the Wild Card 2 standings. So I am very proud of this team. I am very proud of where this team is going to be headed. And yes, we did not make the playoffs this season, y'all. But gosh, did we give LA a scare? Did we help eliminate Nashville so that Nashville ain't making it to the playoffs? We played spoiler. We gave all of these teams a big scare coming at the end of the season, and that's not something that you saw last season. Something that we could have said the season before that, right? So no bad feelings here, y'all. Nothing but positives here on Sharks Latest. I am not upset that we didn't make playoffs. That would have been great to see. It would have been great experience for these young players. But you better believe we're coming for playoffs next year, y'all. So we're going to stay focused on the season, right? I'm going to continue to make videos addressing the next 2 games till we end the season. Then comes some fun videos, y'all. I've been waiting for these. I've been waiting to make the videos that talk about the Barracuda and our prospects there, that talk about our expiring contracts and who we have to re-sign. The draft coming up. We got 2 first-round draft picks, y'all. So better believe we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of those conversations once the season is wrapped up. But we're going to go ahead and pay attention to the season here. But to maybe give you guys a little bit of a talk of what is next to come, the future is teal, y'all. So you saw the Sharks last night. This is a pretty cool statistic. The Sharks started 6 players last night that were 21 years old and under. That is the first time. I think it's only the 5th time the Sharks have done that, but the first time since 1995, y'all. So the Sharks, you saw the Sharks fielding a lot of young players last night, some that don't have as much experience as others, but you still saw the Sharks walk away with a road victory against a team they had not beat in forever, a team that was also trying to scratch and claw their way into the playoffs. So that's a great sign when you can get this young bunch together and they can have results like that. The future is absolutely teal, y'all. That first line that you saw with Igor, with Will Smith, with Macklin Celebrini, better believe they're going to be back. Colin Graff is still young, if you want to call him that. I like to say Colin Graff is still a youngster. Absolutely. He'll be back. Michael Misa, still waiting to see him take his next step. He showed a little bit of flashes right after the Olympic break. He did have a little bit of a streak, but then he kind of cooled down a little bit. Obviously, Yaroslav Askarov, you're right, being a rookie goalie, he's going to make some improvements in jumps. So, I mean, Luka, right? Luka Kenyoni. What can Sam Dickinson do as he improves? There is so much youth on this team. So coaching is going to be a big thing that we're going to spotlight going into the offseason, because that's what's going to allow these players to make that next step, make that progression in their careers, so that the San Jose Sharks are an absolute force coming into next season. So, big question for you guys, and this is the question of the day. Should the Sharks finish strong, or should the San Jose Sharks keep their eyes set on the draft and try and get themselves one of those defenders, the defensemen that you see in this draft? There are a couple of NHL defensemen, blue liners, prospects that are most likely going to go early. Now, we'll talk about that later in the offseason. Sharks do have 2 first-round draft picks. They do have an ability to package some stuff for a player if they need to. But that's what I'm interested to know from you guys. Comment below, question of the day. Should the San Jose Sharks finish strong, keep the momentum going in the next season, try and win their last 2 games? Or should the Sharks focus on the draft, try and position themselves with a better lottery pick, and maybe lose the next 2 games? So your boy was just having some fun, and I went on to the website called Tankathon. If you guys have heard of Tankathon, go check it out. It covers a couple of different sports, NHL, NBA, whatever, but it allows you to kind of hit a button and it randomizes the draft lottery, right? Just gives you a bunch of fake draft lotteries. So I did that. I just did that 10 times before I hopped on this video. And here's something funny. So the Sharks were in the 10th spot as of right now. Say there was no draft lottery, it was like NFL style. The Sharks would have the 10th overall pick if the draft started right now. So I simmed Tankathon 10 times just to see, well, where would they put the Sharks? What's an average of what the Sharks would get for a draft pick? And it's literally number 10. I don't know if that's Tankathon or not. I kept hitting it. And so here we go. I got 10, I got 10, I got 10, I got 10, I got 11, I got 10, I got 10, I got 12, and I got 10. So in all of my just randomizing, simulations of the fake lottery on Tankathon, Sharks never dropped into the top 10. If they lose their next 2 games, that could change. My answer is this, y'all. You have to finish the season strong. Comment below what your comment is, what your opinion is. That's the thing I love here on Sharks Latest. I'm going to talk Sharks all day long, but I love hearing your opinion. So if you got an opinion that's same as mine, comment below. If you got an opinion different than mine, comment that below as well. But I do think the Sharks need to finish strong, need to carry this momentum into next season. These players need to do their best to do their best, right? They need to do their best to do their best, if that makes sense. I want to see some production in these last 2 games, and I want to see the Sharks going off into the offseason with the rest of the NHL world asking themselves, man, what are these Sharks going to do in 26-27, right? These Sharks, these young cats are scary. And are they going to unlock a different ability for the next season? So we're going to talk about a lot of that in the offseason too. Styles of play, who we like, what lineups, right, do we like to see? We're going to have a lot of opinionated stuff here in the offseason, and I'm just so excited for it. So make sure you're subscribed to Sharks Latest below, and you'll be a part of those conversations as well. So the next game we have coming up, y'all, that's Wednesday at Chicago, a team that we just beat. So you better believe your boy's going to be holding on to hope for another win here. Puck drops at 5:30 local San Jose time. Let's see what we can do, y'all. Let's finish this season strong. But regardless, y'all, the future is teal. That is a saying that you've been hearing all season long, all last season as well, and it resonates so strongly exactly right now. I'm feeling good, y'all. Call it weird if you want to call it weird, y'all. I am so happy and excited right now as a Sharks fan the day after we get eliminated from playoffs. As weird as that sounds, but so much to look forward to. We have a fun offseason ahead of us, y'all. But let's keep our eyes focused on what's ahead of us. Let's go ahead and win our last 2 games. I'll be dropping another video tomorrow to talk about that game against Chicago. But I'm going to leave y'all with the same thing I leave y'all with after every episode. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it teal, Sharks Nation. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.